And yes, we're live. So today, unlike yesterday when I said it's Friday, when it was Thursday. Okay, let's start again. Today, it's Friday. And I'm interviewing the last but not least of our 20 speakers today. So if you haven't got a ticket, there'll be a link to this lovely lady's speaker profile to find out more about her, and you can actually get your ticket from Eventbrite. And don't worry, your passwords will all be sent Sunday, and to actually get into the summit. So, Michelle, explain to everybody who you are and what you do.
Hello, everybody. First of all, welcome. And first of all, I want to also say thank you to Karen for putting on such an amazing, I've been watching all the interviews and you're doing it amazing. So I just wanted to say that to you first.
Thank you, darling.
So who am I? So my name is Michelle Raymond. I'm a HR consultant. And I also do coaching for people who want to raise their visibility, who want more speaking engagements, who want more invites to podcasts and radio stations so that they can make more of an impact in the world. My business is split into two parts. So the business called The People's Partner, and one half is purely just HR. So as you can imagine, I'm very busy around the time. I do have a very small team, but yeah, we're just on the phones, emailing, researching, speaking to government, lots happening. And just to put their minds at ease in terms of how to manage remote staff, how to do this furlough, how to make redundancies remotely. It's a whole new world that we're in.
Isn't it?
Yeah, so I'm enjoying it. I'm learning, I'm being stretched, I'm being challenged. I've seen where I need to improve, and I've seen where I'm actually really good at great stuff. So yeah, it's a learning.
It's funny, isn't it? We can take from this. It's all down to our perception, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, I think initially this whole pandemic and the whole lockdown and the fear of losing jobs can put us in such uncharted waters, isn't it?
Yeah, most definitely. And it's always I think the biggest thing I've noticed of this is the fear of the unknown and the fear of uncertainty, because we can deal with something. If it's bad news, we can deal with that bad news and adjust our mindset to deal with it. But when we don't know what's going to happen, we don't know if it's going to be lifted, we don't know if there's a cure. It's all of those uncertainties. The job tomorrow. This is what we're living in right now, isn't it?
Totally. I mean, but the weird thing is, we lived in a place where we felt we had certainty, but there is no certainty to anything anyway. It's just that now it's so obvious that we are so aware of that some of us, myself included, have probably been through a variety of feelings, and one day we're feeling great and the next day we're feeling a bit...
all of us, the strongest to the weakest. You know what this has tested and what it has proven? That we are all the same underneath. All the same.
100%.
Money, status, credibility, wealth, poverty, we are all the same underneath, because we're all experiencing fear at different levels, but we're all experiencing it.
Absolutely. And my real sincere hope is that this summit, we've got so many amazing women, all from slightly different standpoints, but all going to be giving so much advice to help. You know, it might not be for everybody, but somebody's going to get something from one of you guys to help them get through it. So share with everybody, because you, Michelle, you amaze me. You have so many hats. So before we get into what you're going to do on the summit, come on, Michelle. You're not just an HR lady. Come on, share with people what else you do.
Okay, so apart from HR is my core, as I said before, I do visibility coaching. So I really, really enjoy that. But I'm also an international speaker. So I've spoken across the globe many times. I'm also a TEDx speaker. I'm also a professional backing singer. and I've sang for one of the world's biggest pop stars.
There
and
you go.
A wife, friend. Just a lecturer, also a lecturer. I'm also a trainer. Yeah.
Yeah, you wear a lot of different hats, right? But most importantly, for this particular summit, what is your mission here? What are you trying to help women do?
Definitely. My mission for my participation in the summit is to make sure women ask for more. I want them to be so confident or so courageous enough to ask for more, because there's such a difference, and I think we mix it up quite often between confidence and courageousness. Confidence is a skill that has to be developed over time.
Mm-hmm.
But what I want women to do is, even when you're still building that confidence, you can be brave enough to either ask for more. And when I'm talking about asking for more, it's in every aspect of your life. So if we look at now in the situation we are in, is how do you ask for more in terms of your services and your products? How do you price yourself correctly? How do you ask for that extra engagement, that gig? How do you ask for a promotion? How do you ask for that job? And it's not also just asking, it's what are you willing to accept from others? So we're looking at the imposter syndrome, and the imposter syndrome has so many different facets. And in the presentation, I just talk about some of it, but I want to talk about how we can use negotiation to deal with our imposter syndrome, because we women, we almost just accept what we're given.
Mm-hmm.
Things are fixed and absolute, and at least they're giving me a shot. I'm not going to ask for anything more. Right. But when we negotiate on behalf of others, we always get more for others than we get for ourselves. So I want to look at how we can use the powers of negotiation to ask for more for ourselves, and don't feel guilty or greedy or and self-sabotaging.
I can totally relate to that. And why is it you think that we tend to be like this? Why?
It's embedded from when we're young. It's embedded in terms of our cultural standards and how we're brought up. We're brought up in a certain way as to be a good little girl, and when you're given something, just say thank you. Where boys are brought up in a way to ask for more. You deserve more. And so I've seen this even in my daughter. So I've had to train her. No, why are you settling for that? Do you think you could have got better? Do you think you could have asked for a bit more money? And she said, yeah. And I said, so why didn't you? Oh, because I thought I shouldn't ask. So they don't even think that it's normal to ask. And when in my HR journey, when I used to do a lot of recruitment, it was paramount in the workforce, where I would see women will come for an interview, the men will come for the interview, and I really wanted this woman in particular to get it. And I was just sitting there and I wanted to kick her underneath the table, and I'm thinking, why are you saying that? She was identifying all her flaws.
Right.
Like, almost wearing it as a badge of honor.
Yeah.
And she was saying that when she looked at the application form, she quickly identified all the things that she couldn't do and thought, oh, I best not apply. Whereas men, they look at all the things that they can do, and even if it's just 50% or 40%, they still apply and come to the interview. And I had one particular incident where they came to the interview and the salary was set. The lady came in and we had the interview, and she was good in the interview, but she didn't even try to seek more in terms of levels of responsibility, or seek more in terms of the salary. The guy came in, and I believe that he was less qualified, but he came in very brave, very confident, very courageous, and said, he can do this, he can do that, and he wants more in terms of the salary. So he was negotiating with us after 6 months, can he get this? And he negotiated his whole remuneration package.
Wow. So what you're saying, what I'm hearing from you is that we are tending to undersell ourselves, whereas the guys tend to oversell sell themselves. And do you feel that from what you have, you know, how you've been working throughout lockdown, do you feel that has even gone down another notch because of what's going on?
Right, exactly. So I'm in a number of groups. So I get paid for speaking. Sometimes I get paid, sometimes I don't get paid. So I want to make that very clear. Most of the time I get paid. So since we've moved online, I've noticed in the groups that I'm in, most of the women are asking the question, oh, I need to deliver a virtual presentation. Are you guys changing your fees? Are you asking for less because now we're doing it virtually?
Mm-hmm.
And I've been looking at the comments and the people who are writing the comments, and the guys, not all the time, there are some women, but predominantly the guys saying, no, I'm charging exactly the same rate. I saw a couple of guys say they're charging more because it's actually harder to deliver an emotive and a high energy presentation online than it is in person.
Yeah, sure.
So there's different responses, but it was really interesting that me, myself in the same bracket, we were thinking about how we can make it a bit more cost effective.
Yeah, that's our initial thought. Yeah, myself included.
Interesting.
That's very interesting how different we can be responding to situations that we're finding ourselves in. So do you think, I mean, like, because of what's going on and the stress and anxiety, or people may find themselves in a position that actually they can now choose what they want to do moving forward. So for them, imposter syndrome is probably going to be quite a big part, because when you're starting something new, it is quite a natural thing to have, right?
Yeah, it seems to be a natural response to lower your standards or lower your prices because you're new to the market and you want to penetrate. So they use, it's called penetrative pricing, where they'll
think that
a bit lower so that I get more of a chance. But I always say you have to look at your clients, and this is for women, this is for men, but for women more so, your clients know that you can deliver. They know that you can deliver. And when you're looking at, oh, let me lessen what I'm going to offer because of A, B, and C, I'm new. They don't know that. They don't care about that. What they do is, can you help me?
Yes.
Can you get me through this period of time? Can you help me mentally? Can you help me emotionally? I'm dealing with anxiety. I'm not coping with this lockdown. I've come across people who have previously been imprisoned, and this lockdown has made them relive those memories. Right. Now, there are people who will pay for someone to support them through this journey so they don't feel like they're back in prison again.
Yeah, sure.
But when you're saying, oh, yeah, I can do this for you and it'll only be a certain amount of money, or they're thinking, but can you really help me then? So it's really understanding your market and what they're willing to pay. And I always say this, you're only as good as the market is willing to pay.
Yeah.
So there's another discussion. I might say, yeah, I'm worth £10,000 and loving myself and thinking I'm valuable, or my husband thinks I'm valuable. Yeah, I'm £10,000. But then if I go to my market and then they don't see that value, what happens?
They're not going to pay. Absolutely. It is. It's confidence from the buyer's perspective. Right. The buyer needs to feel confident that you can provide the solution for them. That's it. Because they're not buying things, they're not buying products, they're not buying stuff, they're buying the solution, they're buying the outcome, right?
Right.
Excellent. And I think there's going to be so many women out there that really are going to be very interested in your talk, because I can totally understand why they have those feelings. But when they realize that they are in control, they can actually change the way that comes across. That's going to help them moving forward, right?
Yeah, and in the presentation, I talk about having collaborative conversations. So never see, and I'm not, to be fair, I'm not great at sales. I'm not great at sales, but I'm great at having collaborative conversations. So I've had to have a shift in my mindset. When somebody's booked a session to have a conversation to see if we can work together, I'm having a collaborative conversation. So I'm going to show you my product and I'm going to show you why it works. And I've had to say to myself, Michelle, if you don't show them what you can do, you are doing a disservice. You are doing a disservice, not to just yourself, but to them, because you have the answer and you're not sharing it with them. So I had to change and shift the way I see sales conversations, and it's a collaborative. You tell me what you want and I tell you what I can do. I may not be able to do everything, but the bits I can do, I do them really well. I'm very good at it, and you will get the results. We women have to be so confident and believe innately in what we can do for others. It changed me.
Totally. Oh, I love it. And I love that idea, because I do feel like a lot of sales, and I know this is my own mindset. When I first got into sales, I did have that vision of a stereotype. So not all, but second car sales. So it's just a stereotype, one I had in my brain, that they're going to sell their own granny, And it took me a long while. I totally agree that it's all about the conversation. And I think people are almost afraid to give too much. But actually, you need to allow them the chance, the opportunity to realize that, yes, you do have the answer for them. And then they will have the confidence that you are the solution to the problem. And that is the only time they're going to buy. They're never going to buy if they're in a more fearful place.
Yes, you have to move them. I learned one thing, and it's always stuck with me. People buy once they believe. So they either have to believe in the product or the service that you're offering. They have to either believe in themselves that, they'll continue with this and they'll follow through, or they have to believe in you. And as women selling a product, selling a service, we have to make sure that one or at least two of those belief avenues are met. So they have to either believe in you, that yes, that you can help me get through it, or they have to believe in the service, because sometimes they are not strong enough to believe in themselves. So it's our job.
You've got to help them along. Brilliant. Well, I think, on one side of it, it's sadly that this is the time. People are going to really need to hear what you've got to say. So, guys, the summit, I can't believe it's starting Monday. Michelle will be speaking, I believe it's Thursday morning. 10 a.m. So again, take a look, whether it's up or down, depending on where we are. There will be the link direct to Michelle's speaker profile, all her social media platforms, websites, email, contact her directly, no problem. And there will be live Q&A in the chat underneath the presentation anyway, and they will be up for 48 hours. So thank you very much for your time, Michelle, and look forward to watching the summit.
It'll be good. I'm really, really excited. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.